Hello everyone! Today we're going to be working on teaching you guys how to use VRM posing for desktop. So, it's relatively simple. The main thing that's difficult is mainly the end bit. So, it's fairly self-explanatory via menus. Customize pose. This lets you tweak your model however you want in order to change positions of stuff. For example, I can grab this, move it around wherever I want, turn it sideways, up, down, left, right, stuff of that nature. So, but that's the more advanced thing that you can do in order to do modeling and stuff for this. The other option would be to go through the select pose feature, where you can also use the workshop to search for specific poses. So let's start with let's find a good pose. Go with this. Expression. You can do expressions to change how you want your expressions. Like happy, angry, sad, relaxed, which for some reason my relaxed is something else. Surprise, which I don't have a surprise thing. You can also change specifically the mouth shapes without having to mess with the eyes whatsoever. But you can also go through here, which changes the eye stuff. You can combo that with all of your other stuff I just showed you via, you could do auto blink, interval, blink time, closing time up a bit, and in this, it will automatically blink for you after a certain amount of time, which, as you can see, so we have that now. Now, you might be wondering, oh yeah, well, you have eye animations now. They're blinking every now and then, but what about the other stuff, like the animations with the ears and the tail and such? Well, that's pretty simple. You want to go down to your props menu, the wind menu. You want to use the wind. The wind is how you'll get the movement. So, up the max and minimum values. Change the interval. And now, you have a little bit of a tail wag going on every now. Now, it looks really heckin' windy. So, you might be wondering, how do you change stuff to make it doesn't look as windy? If you want consistency, put these two close together. Less consistent, put minimum value really low. Put the max value pretty high. That way there's a high amount of variation if you wanted to actually have a tail wag. That way it would just have variations in the wag quite a bit. That way it looks more like it's alive than anything else. Except of that. Alright, here we're going to make a simple sort of water-themed background. Like a deep ocean sort of thing. They have presets here, which the presets aren't bad, but I kind of don't recommend them. Actually, we'll do winter. Winter sounds nice. Do a kind of a wintry theme. Yeah. Get those going. There's also, in the props menu, there is quite a bit of props. There's things from text boxes, guns, knives, swords, shields, you name it, they probably have it. They also have different particle effects that you can also put in. For example, if I wanted to make it kind of look like he has some form of ice magic, well, that's not exactly what I was going for. That's more like shape magic. Let's fix that. Like ice magic. Add that to it. Now, it kind of looks like his magic is kind of blowing around different stuff. There is also a lighting and also backgrounds. So, for example, if I wanted the backdrop to be a building, I could do that. City street, can do that. I could do a bathroom if I want, for whatever reason. I look like I just wrecked the place. But there's lots of options. And there's another thing you can do with scaling, for example. So scaling is something that is very crucial and almost necessary. Like if I wanted to make this look more realistic to size, I can click on my model, go 0.5. Oh, oh lord, you think. That's not the intention. I meant to go 0.5. Now they look really stupid, but give me just let me cook. 0. 0.5. And then always do the Z number too, because if you don't, it might cause the model to look funny when rendered. See, now they're about the size of said car. So, if I wanted them to look like they were kind of in the street, walking down, casting magic, take them, move them forward, and then I take my props, and I would go down to the prop that I want to change, aka the ice shield, which is pretty on brand because that's kind of what I'm going for, an icy winter theme. So, from there, we'll go and adjust those values to the exact same values, especially if it already looked correct on how you wanted it. So if you were going through and it looked correct on regular scale, go ahead and just change those values by the exact same percent value that you changed it before. And it definitely matters on the particles whether you are using the correct numbers or not, because they will look really, really funky if you don't use the correct numbers. See, move this perfectly forward. As you can see, it's starting to look really nice and shape up as to how you want it. So I might make the boy a little bit smaller. Like 0.4. 0.3. 0.3 seems kind of like what I want, actually. 0.3. 0.3. That way he's on, like, level with the door. That way he looks like he can actually go into the door. Now, his ice shield, let's go adjust that again. And you can also adjust the color of it. Like if I wanted a more deep blue ice. But what I want is kind of like a snowy white color, which means I'd have to add maximum values on each color. That way it kind of looks like it also has a blue hue as well within that. So that's more like it. That's kind of like what I want. And then it's 0.3. And then you can lower the speed or increase it. For me, I want to decrease the speed a little bit. Just a little hair up. To get this to look how I want it exactly. From there, I want to take this, I want to lock it in. That way I don't accidentally press it. Now, I also want some light. And for the sake of sakes, I'm making it blue. Moving off the screen. And giving it more range. I can up the intensity or lower the intensity. I'm just gonna have the intensity like this. So now, as you can see, we have the base kind of scene set up. I can add stuff like water bottles, trash cans, different things around, and scatter them around the place. Like, for example, if I did this, who wants that large scale of a traffic cone? Oh boy, isn't that a train wreck? Point. Two. That's a wide traffic cone. Now, there's a traffic cone. Kinda take the traffic cone. Put in the background over here. It's not like it's doing much, but it's doing something. Adds a little bit more to it. As you can see, I'm kind of hovering a little bit. So what I'm gonna do. Actually, give me a sec. I'm about to change their pose real quick. The pose, there could be a better pose for this. No, no, no. There we go. That's the pose. And I'm going to change the expression to have kind of that dramatic feel to it. And then now comes the fun part of doing the actual photo stuff that you guys have been seeing. There's a lot of things you see within this, right? So, one thing I kind of like to do is I kind of like to do an outline. It gives them more depth to all of this stuff. Turn down the intensity. And you can kind of make the outline any color you want. And let me do... not tone mapping. Tone mapping's too bright. Maybe ambient. Yes, ambient occlusion. Then you can go down here. Put a little bit of lens dirt. Decrease the intensity a bit so it kind of looks like snow on the lens. And, on top of that, do that. I also do pixelate. But, with a pixelate, you can also do less graphics. I don't know why you do that, but on down here, though, you can do 8-bit, but up the resolution. Now you almost got like an old school video game animation panel. It's very useful if you're doing like maybe something that you want to be like an 8-bit arcade sort of vibe, almost. You could do a lot with this. So comic. Manga. Isn't that pretty cool? There. There's a broken screen. I have never found a use for broken screen in my life. Anyway, I found uses for this. Which looks crazy, by the way. Glitch kind of just makes the screen glitch around a bunch. Water. Film grain, obviously. RGB. RGB is good if you want to adjust specific colors, like you want more blue. Just adjust those all the way down. Want more light blue specifically? We got that too, and then you can turn down. Whoa, that actually looks freaking crazy. Can I get a silhouette? That's the question. Horror. No, can't get a silhouette. At least not with the way I'm doing it. You can also add rain. Raindrops. Dramatic aberration. Yep, looks freaky. Lens distortion. There's also a little thing that helps with focusing. That way it focuses on up here more than the background. Blur is a very useful tool. You can make it focus specifically on the foreground. That way the entire background is a little bit blurred, but your foreground is still obviously there. Now, all you have to do is export it. You do, I would do 16 by 9, especially if you're doing it in a YouTube format. Do 16 by 9, and then what you also want to do is afterward, you're going to have to click on it and screenshot it because it saves in slightly too high of a quality for YouTube. So, for example, I take that, I name it, I see, and then it'll save it, and it'll take you back to here. Now, I think that's all for the day. So, you guys have fun. This is a very fun app. It's not very... It's called VRM Posing Desktop. It's available on Steam. Definitely go and check them out. They're wonderful. This is what I use all the time. So, yeah. If you're looking for something nice that can give you the edge on especially thumbnail making and stuff, definitely consider going to them. You could do crazy stuff. mess with this just a little bit more before I call it. $16-bit. 46, 50, 30. We're gaining slight graphics. I love it. It's so good. And you've also got Manga Flash. Makes it look crazy. Up the brightness a bit, make it look even better. There's a lot that you can do with this. Tons that you can do. So, let's see. Ambient occlusion, if I turn that off, it makes everything look different. In my opinion, it's a little bit too bright, however, it's still pretty nice. And this is what I've been using for my videos recently. And like I said, let's go through the process. Let's see. Select a different pose. For example, let's try to do an animation. Loop VRM. Add this to the Loop VRM animation. Add this. Add this. Add this one. This one. This one. This one. Add that. So you can do different fade in, fade out. It definitely works to do ease out on each of these. Leave. Go down, select ease out. Ease out. Ease out. Ease out. Ease out. I believe upping these to relatively 18. It's all fun and games till the zombie has ice magic, okay? Yeah, it could be a lot more smooth. Oh, buddy. It looks rough. He's not, like, walking either, so it makes it really odd. I'd have to, like, make it look like he's walking. Which means I need, like, a moving background. Like a GIF background that's moving backwards. That would probably work the best. That's not how I wanted it. I'm gonna be honest with you, doing this step by step on your own is probably the best way to do it. Where is the one? Okay, yeah, I can do that. And 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 it's just well, that exists. I can't unsee this now. Just how do I just change it to 1? Yep. Oh, this is the correct. What if I just add things to it? Oh, it's repeating the same thing over and over again. This is... This could only go poorly. Nah, get on his level. Got the moves, boys. He's got the moves. My boy's got the moves. He's having fun, man. He's having fun. This is great. Hold up. Just... Hold up, I need an end pose. Just... Boom, 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 boom. That way he... Okay, I need to pause this. And get... Okay, now he should just dance, hopefully. In theory, he should be able to dance. I don't know what I've done. What have I done? You just hit, like, so many emotes at once? Well, you can't make up your mind, and you need to do multiple emotes. Just, here you go. Okay, let me get a little bit more vintage. Just go to recording. It's just another thing that you can do is capture the MP4 version, which captures a certain amount of seconds. For me, it breaks because my PC can't handle it technically, but the reason why I'm able to get the animations anyway is just go through OBS to do it. So, for example, I see vid, go through here, it'll start doing this, and I just copied it via using OBS. So, we just have a dancing character now. You can come up with an actual dance, you can individually model each pose. That way you actually get the dance that you want to get with this. So, I think that's all for now. Bye-bye.